L log 33.0. Time is 12:08 a.m. Saturday, December 18th, UK time. So, what's unique about this week, kind of leading to me to doing one of these, is quite a few things. One of which is two new hires. So it says two new things, both very significant hires. I mean, every hire feels significant for me given the stage of the company, of course, but like me personally, I mean, this is every hire I'm making is still single digit, the first 5 hires I've ever made, right? So I think, T, then M, and G, then B, then K, 5. So I officially made my first 5 hires, full 5 pen, right? And they're all in, and I feel really good about all of them. So far so good, sort of thing. Knock on wood. One of which is actually a boomerang. So worked with him way back when, years ago here, in what I would consider the second era. Right now, I think we're at the end of the third. But he was here even before me. He's basically like what I was at Lean Data way back when. Basically the first business hire, essentially, sort of thing. I was there, and I mean, when he was here initially, I mean, I've heard stories about him pretending to be the AI in the background, just typing away responses, just doing whatever it took way back when. And to bring him back now when things are actually working, because when he left for good reason. Everyone, I mean, anyone who stayed around the time he left, it was like, why, right? He left a little bit before it got really bad, actually, to be honest. So, but it's good to have him back. It's a great time to have somebody who, worked so hard for this company way back when and bit the bullet so many times, the CSM of a shitty product at the time, to come back and basically see customers be happy and be able to make customers happy and basically be a part of the success story instead of the tragedy that was, right? So, and we overlapped for like a year. We never really like connected in that year we worked together. Felt like we kind of like tiptoed around each other a little bit, because I could appreciate that he was like the first CSM sort of thing, but I was more senior, and the boss at the time brought me in with this with the explicit expectation that I would come in and like lead the team, is what he told me, right? Apparently he ended up telling everybody that, right? So he had a bunch of people, 4 people on a team that I guess had all been told they would like it's expected to lead the team. There's a horrible equation. But I also knew from having been like at Lean Data being the first, like I wouldn't want somebody coming in stepping on my toes. But I also felt that I had, or did know that I did have like more, CS experience than anybody on the team, essentially, right? Granted, not that much more, but still more. And if I had that, given I had only been a CSM like a year and a half prior at New Relic, right? The fact that I had more than anybody says actually maybe more about how inexperienced the overall team was, so to speak. So, but that said, that's neither here nor there. But I feel like we did finally kind of connect prior to like extending him an offer. The boss, who he's good friends with, he's still friends with those that still work here, right? I guess they met up for dinner one day, and then my boss basically made him like a stellar offer, like an offer you cannot refuse, right? And it's like pending, board approving kind of thing. You guys should stop talking, that sort of stuff. So then we got together, grabbed beers, got drunk, wrote a contract on the back of a menu kind of thing. Not an offer per se, definitely not a contract, but not an offer per se, but like options. You can have this title, this pay, blah, blah, blah. The pay was in the realm of what the boss had already offered, essentially. I had to understand what the boss offered up front, but then apparently when I spoke with him, the boss said, my boss had given me the bottom end of the range that he had given him, right? So like, it was like, oh, there's what I've been told is the bottom end of a range he told you. And of course, when you tell somebody a range, you're going to seek or expect the top end of the range, right? Anyways, we had beers, I don't drink beer, but like, I did drink Guinness, but I got drunk, basically connected, brought him like to speak on where the company was at. And most importantly, kind of got to know one another really, right? Um, as much as you can in like the window and the context too, right? And now he's on board, and now with him on board, somebody really kind of experienced, competent, capable, curious, smart, right? On board, I can now officially in the new year get myself off all of kind of account management and be a proper VP. So that's huge. That's the turning point. And this week was his first week, and you've been already beginning to introduce him to customers. And because I'm taking off on vacation next week, right? And so I'm really just throwing him in, right? And like, I'm not around to meet. We could either cancel the meetings for the next 2 weeks, or here you go. Here's B. He can like, you guys can meet with him. At least you have support. Still offering up support, but like I'll be gone, and it makes for an easy segue out of the accounts. I think for some of them, of course, I will return to kind of properly transition. But with the vacations too, with some of these other accounts, actually, it's quite easy for me to take a step away. Right, with the other girl that I hired just 6 weeks ago, like those accounts, now I've actually properly kind of transitioned, stepping away and not coming back kind of after the holidays, right? So all moving in the right direction. Another big significant hire is the US SE. So finally we have a US technical resource. Oh my God, I've been talking about it, thinking about it for like 9 months, finally fucking here. I'm so over the moon about it, right? It's like feel like a baby's been born. I'm so happy about it. Like it took 9 months to get here. Not that we were searching for 9 months. There's all this other stuff that had to be done first. But I always knew this is like such a critical hire, just kept getting kicked down the road. And now finally he's in. And T, who's the CSM he'll be partnering with, seems happy with him. Granted, it's only like a week. It's way too early to make any kind of real judgment, but so far so good. First impressions are positive, right? So that's significant. Now I have a team of total, what do I have? 4, 7. I need to make one more hire. This another solutions engineer in next quarter, so that I can properly pair CSMs and SCs like I'd like to, like everyone's on board about. And then I'll probably have to make another SC hire the following year, because I hear through my source that one of my SCs is pregnant, so expecting in May. With that, who knows if she'll come back, kind of thing, right? That's just as likely that somebody take leave and not return, of course, right? Especially with a first kid. But I'm excited for her. That's great news. She's been great, and this new USSE that we're hiring, a lot of the accounts that he's taking on, she's been overseen from Europe, right? Not even the UK, from Europe. So even an hour more gap in time zones, Central European time, right? And she's been amazing, and I think she's like perfect for like training somebody else up. The other SC we have is great, he's amazing, but I don't know that he's the best type of trainer type, right? And she just really kind of is. So she could train him up. She's done so much for us already. Train him up, and hopefully train up whomever we hire. Also tasked the team, her and the other SC, EU SC, with finding us another SC, right? And she actually came through today with like a LinkedIn profile for me, and then emailed somebody that her and the other SC went to college with and she thinks would be good. So that's great, right? Like she's following through on that front. Yeah, that's what's next. And there's so much that's next, right? New year, so much to be said. I don't know. I'll get into all that today, to be honest. Let the year just wrap up, and I can pick up that thread, anytime, going forward. But if things come to a close as they look, as I'm forecasting, or as it's looking, like it's going to be an amazing year. I'm going to hit that all critical golden standard for customer success of 120% NRR, 90% gross renewal rate, which is great. Knock on wood, still a few more things to come through. On the new business side, we just had our best quarter ever. I think I kind of said this other quarters too, but that's because that was true too then, and this is true now. So this is great. New, better, best quarter ever in terms of new business. And in terms of renewals too, in terms of upsell, like if it all comes through, I won't say, right? So because it's not in yet just yet, but if it all comes through, like we're doing as good in upsells as new business. A little bit more new business than in upsells, but still like still all good, great gravy. Let's see. The only thing now, new business is all in, all that will close this quarter has closed. Now it's just a matter of on the new business front. Now it's just a matter of some renewals that, the renewal date's like the 31st, right? So we'll see. Even if it slips, we're not a public company, it's okay, it's fine, just as long as the renewal comes in. If it's a week late, whatever. Most importantly, it's hitting that like golden standard metric, 120% NRR, 90% GRR. And then there's so much to be said about the plans for next year, but we'll get to that later, not today. But getting out the accounts is huge, and beginning to like properly manage is front of mind for me. And as I take this vacation, really kind of take a step away and begin to just like think, just think, not be caught in the trenches of the accounts and what I got to do for this account and that account, and thinking about what I need to tasks I need to create, or tasks I need to complete. Just get out of the trenches, and over this vacation really just decompress and let my mind wander and visualize and imagine and think about things, and soak it in and marinate in the possibilities. Not even yes, like cheers to what was a great year, but most importantly, like I too, next year, and get excited, just like use my imagination, right? Think about what could be, how it could be, how we could get there, how we could do it, and think about from there how to do it, plan. Some people get off on planning. To some degree I do too. I'm not in the same way I think girls do about planning trips and shit like that, but like, get excited in that sense, if that makes sense. Scribble in my notebook about all the thoughts I have for what we can do in the new year type thing. They're just stream of consciousness over vacation, and then distill down at the end and come back, ready to roll. But that said, big freak out this week. So we had the holiday party on Friday, holiday party type thing. I mean, at our size, not proper parties, literally a holiday dinner. And then we went to, it's kind of like a cabaret type show after. But at that point, it had what's the word? It had gone from what, a dozen people to just 4 or 5, right? And then from there, just 2, me and the new CSM, and we were head of customer operations. I mean, him and me got stuff. We were sharing a bill, we went back to his place, chopping it up. I think I got back at like 7 a.m. or something of that sort. Then the next day or Sunday, well, at that point, next day would have been Sunday. The holiday was on Friday, and I got back about Saturday morning at like 7 a.m. And I think on Sunday or whatever, get a text that he tested positive for COVID. Oh my God. And I've just been bedridden since that 7 a.m. since I got home like that Saturday morning. And he had tried to get me to take a test on the spot at his place. I was like, I'm not trying to stick no cotton swab up my nose right now, stuck enough up my nose already with you all night, right? Like, you know. But I will take this test with me and test myself later. Like that's matters more. Because if I've caught something, it will have been kind of here and now, and this is getting out and about in London on a Friday night, right? So and I don't know if I catch something an hour ago, does it even test now? So let me just take the test away. So he lets me know that on what, Sunday or something, and then I'm just like, oh fuck, because I can't, of course I can't travel. My whole plan is to go back on Tuesday. I've been telling all my customers that I'm taking off for 2 weeks. I've been looking forward to this. It's a wedding, no less, of a good friend. I'm a groomsman, right? Like if I can't fucking travel because I caught Corona after 2 years of locking myself in this submarine of my flat, oh my God, like I had a little bit of like a mild, not mild, yeah, mild, like a mild panic attack all Monday. It didn't even really sink in until Monday for some reason, right? And then, but I had this little test I could take. So I go to take it, and there's like 2 slits, right? The slit where the lines show up, and then the little slit where you, I guess, drop the liquid in after you swab your nose, plug it in, swish it around, drip drop to, test. I guess I was such a fucking haze or daze. I don't know what I was thinking, but I like on Sunday I made the mistake of drip dropping the fucking thing into the slit that is supposed to show the lines instead of the where it's supposed to be dropped. Well, I ended up dropping it in both after I made other shit was supposed to drop it there. But because I dropped it in the slit that's supposed to show the lines, it just broke the whole fucking test. So I ended up returning nothing, like not 1 line, not 2 lines, no lines. Like, fuck. And that was our 1 test, right? But out here, you can get free test. Apparently, I found out you could get free tests. So I explained, they're like, yeah, you just. I asked him like, where can I get tests? What is like this link NHS? They'll send it to you. So it's now on Monday, right? Sunday, I was just wiped out. Right? I just didn't have energy to agonize, to be honest, or worry or anything. I was just like a ghost, But Monday, right, with work coming in and all that, I had like a mild panic attack all of Monday. You're like, I was like a mental breakdown of sort. I felt ill, right, and maybe it's a matter like a hangover from whatever Friday, or I always feel shit on Mondays anyhow. Then of course there's this like mental thing of like, do I have it? Maybe my mind is making me think I've got something, and I'm like, oh, I do. It is like shallow breathing. It is, and I realized I'm just a fucking horrible cigarette smoker. If I really thought about it any other time too, yeah, it's the exact same, dude. Like I have shallow breathing any given day, dude. Like I killed my lungs. Like what's new? You're just now noticing. And not that I haven't noticed before. Like you're just now just freaking out, right? Yeah, I was just fucking freaking out on Monday. I couldn't get shit done, and I had 2 new hires, both just started, and I like can't even break. Like I can't even. I gotta like onboard them. I gotta make sure they're all set up. We don't have an onboarding program, so it's extra stress or extra responsibility of like trying to be that onboarding, be their onboarder. There is no like proper onboarding, right? There's no manual to read. We have very little documentation to share. There's very little for them. And even like the SE, I wanted to have him have the same email address pattern as everyone else, which is just our first name and then at company.com. But we previously had another person of the same first name. So to get him set up with everything was a nightmare because everything was already set up with the other guy's shit, right? So even like getting him access to Slack, for instance, kept on sending an MFA authentication code, assumedly to the old employee. So we had to disable the MFA so they didn't have to MFA his way in so they could have access to Slack. And then I'm realizing in my chat with him, once he finally did get access, there's all the other previous K's conversations. So I went from 1K person from 2 years ago immediately to him. So it's just like one long thread. I'm like, okay, what other issues does this create? Like he's probably getting emails into like, he's not coming into a fresh inbox. I was able to access his inbox initially to see that it was fresh, but like, it could be that he gets emails that the other guys subscribe to stuff, who knows, and like, I don't know, ancient emails that may still be getting sent out to that. And then of course, like setting him up with Jira, the guy's pictures all over the Jira account. So the poor guy has to go in and switch out some white guy he's never met before, face, so that it's just for his Jira profile, right? That was a horrible experience. Like that was like horrible onboarding, but I was just so set on him having the same pattern at this point, right? And at some point that's gonna have to change anyhow. So maybe this was the point to change it. No, I wasn't ready for that, right? That can change with next round of investment or something, right? Like I wanted him as my 5th hire, right? To have the same email pattern, especially because it's possible. Then again, he does have like a middle name we could have used and all that jazz, but fuck it. We got it done, worked out. But like that sort of stress of like, poor guy couldn't even access Slack his first day. He didn't get access to Slack until the second day. There's no way for me to reach him, right? Like really, as I emailed him. Yeah. And I'm here freaking out about fucking COVID, right? And then I have a new CSM who's chomping at the bit to like learn this or that, like about stuff that like, well, hold your horses. Like that doesn't even really matter right now, like, that doesn't matter. Don't worry. I know you're interested in that piece, but just don't worry. Like, and asking me for like, can you share me the customer folder with all the contracts of all the customers I'm going to have all their contract. Like, actually, there is no customer folder with all that. I do it a little different. I have like I have a Excel spreadsheet with all these tabs, and then in one tab you have all the documentation around like the customers like access stuff and like there's documentation, and in that documentation for each respective customers, all these tabs relevant to like each particular customer. And then another tab of this like customer dashboard Excel I have all the contracts linked out, from the customers in like a table. It's like my own little CRM set up the way I want it, kind of, or the way it made sense to me. As an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheet. But no, I don't have like a single folder for this specific customer. I know that's another way of approaching it. You have a folder for each kind of customer with all the relevant resources in it. I'm not a big fan of folders, to be honest. I'd much rather do a file with tabs, right? But kind of thing. And honestly, to be honest, like you don't have to worry about the contracts right now, bro. Like, well, that's the least of the concerns of the contracts. But I just come from a different era where the contracts would screw us, to be honest. Like back when he was on board, like we were selling whatever, who knows even what, different, all sorts of unstandardized pricing, all sorts of things that put us in horrible corners. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But anyways, I'm freaking out. It's fucking Monday. Hey, Mondays, think I might have COVID, probably do. It'd be a miracle if I don't, kind of thing, right? Now I'm looking at how I can get a COVID test. I go online to order one. They're sold out. Not sold out because you don't have to buy them, but like the NHS, no more available, right? Okay, but it looks like you can like download this barcode and then take this barcode to any one of these number of pharmacies. So now I'm calling on the pharmacies, right? Call 4 pharmacies from the top, which is the closest to me, then the next closest, and the next closest. All 4 telling me no, we don't have any either, right? Like what the fuck? Like if the NHS says they're out of stock, and then all these pharmacies say they don't have any either, what the fuck? How am I going to get one, right? And then the deal with the travel to the US is that I have to test within 24 hours of traveling, which is pretty restrictive. Like this is a heavy US restriction, because like a lot of like the test places don't even deliver the results until 24 hours later. So you have to find some places, the place that does, like same day, test results delivery. So whatever. So I have that book. I have to book that up anyways. I booked that up on Monday. So regardless whether I test negative or positive, I need to have that booked. And maybe if I test positive now, maybe then by then I'll be negative. Who knows? I mean, that, and even if I test negative now, it doesn't matter. I have to test negative that Monday before I fly on Tuesday anyways. Fortunately, the next day, and I guess surprise, surprise, a Monday after a weekend, like everything's out of stock on these COVID test kits, especially right now where UK is getting hit hard with this like spike. Like everybody's blowing up my phone. My grandma's telling me to get my booster shot. My dad's telling me to get my booster shot. Everyone's telling me how bad it is in the UK. I'm like, dude, I know I'm in the UK, but I am in my fucking flat. You know, like, yeah, I'm in the UK, but I'm in my fucking flat, with the exception of this fucking weekend, right? So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm kicking myself too, because I'm like, dude, it's my like fault completely if I get it, got it, right? Um, and I don't, but also if I don't want to get it because you know, but also I would resent myself. I would resent the guy a little bit too. Who knows, you know, how he got it, if he gave it to me, whatever. It's just be a horrible situation. I was like, dude, I can't even. I need this time off, you know. And if I can't go to this wedding of my buddies, the once in a lifetime thing, you know, um, you know, I'm a groomsman too. I can't go because of Corona because I got COVID. Like, dude, no, don't let that happen, you know? And then I'll be stuck here. I can't even go visit my grandparents because I have COVID. So I'll be stuck here in my flat for like Christmas, you know, New Year's, when I could have been at like a wedding and seeing friends for the first time in 2 years and being home for the first time in 2 years. I would have killed me. Like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. I didn't take a proper summer vacation. I needed this, you know? Long story short, ordered ordered COVID test kit on Tuesday. Finally came in on Thursday. Fortunately, on Thursday, I snapped back and, you know, kiss or us sort of thing, right? What BOB? I have faith. God's been good to me, kind of thing, right? You know, and then I managed to order test kit on Tuesday. Comes in on Thursday. Test yesterday. One negative test. Whew. Oh, going into it, bro. Like I even like first I was like I was gonna play some like music, you know, guys. Like no music, I need silence, you know. Like, but then once that negative test came back, oh my God, the music went up. I played like fucking Harlem Shake, bro. I was Harlem shaking around my house. I was so happy. I don't even know how Harlem Shake, where that came from. I must have seen it on TikTok or something earlier in the day or whatever. But I was Harlem shaking on repeat fucking for like an hour around my house, right? After I saw this negative test. It's been years since I've been that happy to see one red line, if you know what I mean. Like, and maybe this made me happier than any of the other red lines, to be honest, right? One red lines. But we'll see. Comes down to Monday, but oh my God, a relief regardless, right? And then, so that's this week. What else this week? That's really it. That's really all I want to say. Doesn't have to go on forever, every one of these anyways. But excited to get back home. For those from home that listen to this, if you're one of my 4 viewers, looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to this wedding. Certainly want to do one more of these before the end of the year, or like, you know, right at the start of the year sort of thing. Plenty more to say, obviously, but I think that's a good kind of quick what's the word, like life mark, like just quick like check-in on like this week, because this week was significant in so many ways, right? Every pilot converted as of today. Still some renewals in. First week of my 4th and 5th ever hire. USSE finally. Now I can finally have the first pairing, and one SCSM, one SC. I need another SE here in Europe to achieve kind of proper pairing out here. Now have a proper pair in place. Looks like it's going to be a better year, our best quarter ever in terms of upsell and raw dollars, and about to be definitely our best year ever. And about to be even better than I fucking forecasted, but knock on wood, it's all gonna come through. But I think even if not, you know, knock on wood, you know, but better than I forecasted too. Hit a golden standard as far as customer success metrics as soon as it comes through, if it all comes through. Don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. So we'll pick up all that proper final updates January fucking 1st, or maybe a week later, because I am pretty positive one of these is going to slip a week as far as signature. You know, let me just make a quick note here too. I'm one of those asshole bosses that like takes off right after hiring somebody. Like the poor two people I hired, right? Like, I've seen this on Reddit countless times. Like my boss hired me, then immediately took off for vacation. What a fucking asshole boss. And that's me. That's me next week, right? Hire these two guys. They're here a week. I'm off for 2 weeks. But fuck it, they're getting paid through the holidays, right? Like, but still, want to come back and properly onboard them. But hopefully everything's okay while I'm away, and looking forward to coming home. A little bit of a return tour. Plenty of babies I'd love to see, but maybe I shouldn't, given the state of COVID. And last thing I want to do is put a baby at risk, basically. But my cousin had a kid since I moved out here. One of my longest best friends growing up, kind of thing. I had one as well while I was away. Another friend of mine had one as well. I mean, I'd love to see these babies, but maybe it's best I stay away. But definitely want to see all the fucking folk, and a wedding to start, right? In New York, no less, or New Jersey, technically, right? Muslim wedding. And, come from half of my heritage is Muslim, Turkish being a Muslim country, and interested to see what a Muslim wedding is like and get to be a groomsman. I don't know how many more chances I'll have at that. Yes, me probably, given everyone that's already married, right? Given I didn't get to be one for my brother, right? Given another friend of mine did another kind of Corona wedding as well, just wedding hall sort of thing. I think I have 2 more buddies, 3 more buddies. One just got engaged, maybe him, we'll see, I don't know, but definitely be at the wedding, right? I think like 2 or 3 probably more shots at being a groomsman, basically. And more if I'm lucky, right? But yeah, plenty to look forward to. Fingers crossed, stay COVID free till Monday. And I'm coming home. That P. Diddy song is going through my head. I'm coming home, coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. I'm gonna go listen to that now and add it to my playlist for 2021. Spotify gave me my playlist, but there's still a month left in 2021. You kind of premature with the playlist. It's like, who knows what it might have been the favorite by the end of 2021, to be honest. You jumped the gun, Spotify. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Much love, be happy, do good. I love you, Mom.